Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be sharing with you a requested video or an explanation on how to cut this stylish three-part corset with a gathered waistline. So if this is something you like, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive right into today's video. So let's say the length of the dress I'm using for this is 42 inches. If I take out 17 inches from it, which is my shoulder to waistline, I'll have 25 inches left for the lower part of the dress. So next, I'll go ahead and mark my shoulder divided by 2, which is 14 divided by 2, I have 7. I'll come down by 1 inch. And at that point, I'll go ahead to place my tape to draw my shoulder slope. So next, you want to go ahead to mark your chest line or your armhole. And to get that is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Mine is 7. I made a point at that line and I drew out a straight line. So next, you want to go ahead and place and mark back your shoulder divided by 2. And also go ahead to draw out your armhole line. So for this pattern, there's no need to draw an armhole curve for your pattern. So the next step I'll take is to go ahead to mark my dart. To mark my dart is my nipple to nipple divided by 2 first. My nipple to nipple is 7 inches and I'll go ahead to mark this all the way to the lower part of my pattern. After I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead to extend my cup about 1.5 inches on top. But for this pattern, if you notice the picture we have on the thumbnail, the cup is a bit low, so I might not mark up to that 1.5 inches. I'll just place my ruler and draw out a straight line. So next, I'll be marking my dart intake of 1 inch on both sides of my under bust, and I'll also repeat it at the waistline. So if you're a plus size or you're a bit busty, you should consider using 1.5 inches on both sides of your pattern, making it a 3 inches dart. Mine is a 2 inches dart because I used 1 inch on both sides. So now connect from the bust to the under bust of your pattern. Go ahead to repeat this at the other side also. Go ahead to connect. So after you're done doing this, I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline this to make it more visible for you to see. So at that 1.5 inches, I'll go ahead to rule a fence line which will be serving as a guide for me. So after I'm done marking that, I'll come in by ½ inch from my chest line and I will mark. From this point, I will also place my curve drew and I'll connect to the under bust of my pattern this way. After I'm done connecting, this is what I have. Now I'll just mark ½ inch or 0.5 inches after my chest line. Just like I said, if you notice the cup at the upper part is a bit low, so I'll be marking my dart intake of 1 inch on this side. So if you're plus size, you should consider using 1.5 inches at this side, or you can also go ahead and mark 1 inch on this point. But if you use 1 inch here, you're going to use 2 inches on the other side of your corset, or you can just share it equally, 1.5 inches on both sides. So I'll extend my cup to the other side of my pattern. So I want to go ahead and mark my bust circumference divided by 4 because I want to use it as a guide to mark my cup. So here I'll mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2 and I'll add ½ inch to it and I will reconnect at this point, and then I'll extend my cup to the armhole. So this is what I have, and I'll go ahead to replace or mark another dart intake of 1 inch. So just like I said, if you're plus size, you can use 1.5 inches on both sides, or you can mark 1 inch on the center and 2 inches by the side. I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline this, and I'll just draw out this strap on top to indicate that this part of the dress has a tiny sleeve or strap. Now I'll insert my bust circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake, and I will replace it, then add my sewing allowance. After that, I'll go down to the under bust of this pattern. I'll go ahead to mark my under bust circumference divided by 4. My under bust is 28 divided by 4. I have 7. Measure these 2 inches, that intake, replace, and I will add my sewing allowance. Now at the waist, I will go ahead to mark my waist circumference divided by 4, and I will measure the dart intake, replace, and I will be adding my sewing allowance. So if you notice, the cup at the upper part of the dress is low, so if you're not okay with this, please go ahead to extend your cup a bit higher, like 1.5 inches or 2 inches above. The reason why I marked ½ inch or 0.75 at that point at the upper part of the cup is because from the thumbnail, the cup of the corset is a bit low. So I'll just go ahead and label this, and I'll be creating a 3-part corset for this, for the cup part of the corset. And if you notice at the thumbnail, the 3-part corset is not a bit curvy, it is just straight. So I'll just go ahead and I'll outline that part of my cup, and I'll label it as A, and here B and C. That part I labeled as A I'll be merging it up as one cup. So now I'll just go ahead and I will cut this out. So at this point, if you find this tutorial very interesting and educative, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for supporting my channel. So after I'm done cutting this out now, this is what I have, and I'll be using the body of this corset to cut out the back pattern. This is like the easiest way to do that. So after this, I went ahead to mark a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. So for your zipper allowance, make use of 1.5 to 2 inches. And I'll just go ahead and place this, and I will be pinning it down on it. So after I'm done pinning my pattern together, I'll go ahead to trace this out by the side of the pattern and at the upper part of the pattern. So while tracing at the upper part, I'll go down a bit by ½ inch at the zipper and then extend it to the chest line. So this is what I have. So for this part now, I'll mark ½ inch and I'll extend it all the way up. This is to get rid of any zipper bulge at the back part of your dress, and I'll cut it out. So we are done drafting the upper part of this dress. So for the lower part of this dress, there are several ways of cutting it. You can go ahead to cut it as a fillet, but not using the exact waistline, and then you're going to gather it to the waist, or you can just cut out about 3 yards of fabric. So just like I said, the length of the dress is 42. If we are using 42 for the dress length, if I take out this 17 from that 42 inches, I have 25 left. So I'm just going to cut out about 3 yards of fabric, which is about 25 inches of length. So that is the lower part will now be 3 yards by 25 inches, and then go ahead to add your sewing allowance. So the 25 is not a standard, I'm just giving you an example with the length of the dress. So you can make use of any length of dress that you want. And also for the strap, you're going to extend it to the back part of the dress. So with this, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and also join us in our next video. Thanks.